Buddy, it's time to panic out there, right, Tracker? We gotta panic. It's down 2 points
No,
right
no, no, no,
now.
no, no, no,
Down
no, 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 no.
down 10 points yesterday. What's that? What's that movie? Everybody Panic. It's the Will Ferrell basketball movie.
Yes. I can't remember. For some reason, the basketball thing keeps coming to mind when you say basketball.
Oh yeah,
The South Park guys, Trey and Matt.
Trey and Matt. Yeah.
But yeah, no, don't panic. The bond market thing, I think it just gave us an important test of support, and now we can get the real rally on for the summer. And we're going to talk about that right now.
Yeah, how's the Brokeback going? Well, I mean, the Brokeback going is going, right? Anyways, we'll just jump right in here.
Yeah. Matt's just reading off of the comments here. How's the Brokeback going?
Yeah. We'll just read into that. We'll just start with the SPY, and I'm going to put on the Ichimoku and the EMA, the SMAs here, just to see what's going on. So I've been talking about that 585 basically since it broke out, and we're getting it right now, and we're possibly even going to get a gap fill, maybe, right? Been always talking about that as a possibility to backtest the cloud, backtest the 50-week moving average, gap fill that stuff. So if it can't stay above 585, that's fine, right? This is just a previous big resistance zone, that 50-week moving average. You can just use that as your guide, right? Once it broke below, it flipped it to resistance. So going back to flip it back to a support does make sense. And markets do this all the time. So I don't see the need for a panic still. 585 would be great to stay above for tomorrow's weekly candle close, but if not, it's no big deal. Stay above the cloud, stay above the 50-week moving average down there at 571. That gap fill right here would be 570.31 if you want to just write that number down, if it did choose to do that. So we'll see. But this so far is just a healthy, big V bottom and a back test before we continue a journey higher.
Yeah, think of it as a little fractal V of the main V. Like there's April 7th bottom, and now we'll get like a May, I don't know what, 23rd bottom or something, 24th bottom maybe. No, it would be 23rd.
Right around,
Friday.
Right around there, yeah.
Right around there. It's opportunity, guys. It's opportunity to buy. I'm sorry, keep going.
Matt says these corrections are healthy, but my cardiologist says otherwise.
Great.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll go to the QQQ, and same situation. The broke back here is looking like maybe 497, but there is some support with linear scale here at the 504 that could be coming back to back test before that. But again, we cannot count out the gap fill area, the 50-week moving average area, and that gap fill would be right here at 492.70. So we cannot count that out, which would be basically almost exactly at 50-week moving average. So this is all healthy, right? V bottom, breakout, back testing previous resistance, trying to flip it to support. So again, this was always anticipated. I talked about it all this week, the whole week, I think ad nauseum. I think a lot of people were annoyed of me saying it, like, no, it's not going to happen, but here we are. And IWM, we could see that it is actually, it already filled the gap. So I don't know what IWM is doing. It's not supposed to go back down to the 200. Good God. But if it did, that's fine, because the 200 was also a previous resistance. We know this because when it first came right here, it did bounce nicely off of it, the 200. This is my purple line. And for 3 weeks in a row, it bounced nicely off of it. Then it flipped it to a resistance right here, got rejected, and then it was a resistance. So going back down there to retest it as a support is fine. It's just a little bit deeper than I anticipated. But we did get that gap fill already, which is good. It's a good thing. And it does still have potential to even close the week tomorrow back above some levels. So even if it does go back a little bit lower today, it's not the weekly candle close today. Tomorrow is, so we still have a chance to recover tomorrow. But I'll be watching this 198 again. We're back there at these 198 levels again. That's enjoyable. So let's watch 198.59 as your next support level for the back test. And now time for some Bitcoin action. I think what we're looking at here for Bitcoin is approaching my blue arc right now on linear scale. And that's right around 113, 113.5. So that could be a resistance, or it could just cut right through and go straight up to the top arc here in the 130. So we'll see. We'll see what really develops. But very, very nice chart. This was all kind of developing before our eyes week after week. We talked about it, and once it reclaimed one fib extension level at a time, it just started to melt up, and that's basically the same thing that we're seeing with the indices now. They're breaking one resistance level at a time, flipping it back to support, but the melt up is not happening just as fast yet for like the SPY, QQQ, IWM, but right now it is for Bitcoin, it is for crypto. So I think it's just the money is flowing into some crypto assets now and not into the stock market. So maybe a little bit of a rotation there, but this is still a very, very beautiful chart with more room to go.
Yay! I've got my SPY chart to show with some numbers on it. So here we go. You saw this before. I drew it for you. I thought that maybe we go to the from the all-time. Is that right? Yeah, 613.23, and then to the April 7th low of 481.80. Then recovering through the fibs back up. I thought, yeah, maybe we'd get almost, we'd get a test the 886 and then back to the 786. And what we got was it front ran that. It never quite reached it. And back through the 786, I think the lowest that I would conceive of it going, that I've seen in other charts happen before, the 618 should catch it at 563. But actually, I'd like to just see it hold up maybe at this is the 8-hour chart, the 8-hour Ichimoku base 576. This green background, this is the weekly Ichimoku cloud. And so maybe you could hold it at the 70.2 here at 574.06. That'd be a great place to hold. And what I'd like to see it is not touch the moving average 70 until it just like keeps going up. And then maybe it touches back to the moving average 75 somewhere up here in the 620s or 630s after it's made a new all-time high. And, this summer, maybe we'll see 649 or possibly 667, 668 for either the 127 or the one in the SPY. Yeah, that's after June, July. It might even be that August is like where everything gets peaky and then starts to ABC down through September, and the low point, I think, will be that spooky Halloween, October 31st. That's how it happened. So anyway, there's a SPY chart. Here's my Tesla, and I just want to show that I had this box, this Darvis box. I've been it started here and it kind of grew and it grew. And we had two fake outs to the top, which now looks like a Cantonese cat type chopstick top. Now, yeah, it's back underneath the box. And I would love to see this 23.6 fib at 326.76 hold up as support. And so far, it hasn't dared go under it yet. Otherwise, if it loses that, it could go to this 23.6% fib. This is that smaller degree one. I showed you guys I've got like a one. This is the purple one. That would take us down to 305.52. So I'm out of TSLL right now. I'm just waiting to see what happens if it bounces here or falls to there, and then maybe I'll jump back into TSLL.
And you guys heard it here live.
Bullish thesis
Yeah,
on
that you were getting out of TSLL. Everybody was aware of that. The topping formation. We warned everybody, so they can't be angry at Tesla right now.
You warned me, like when you said, "Oh, this looks like it's a major resistance." Like major resistance. When Matt says major resistance, I gotta sell. I gotta get out of this. My Bitcoin had these fibs. I guess I was looking at this as a top right here, like a local top. Yeah, from this bottom here at 93,000 to this local top here at 105, and then what kind of extension we got, and it blew through. It kind of stopped at the 127.2 and then kept going. Now 141 was where. Now it looks like it's turning it into support as well, so it could keep going. Based on these levels, the next one is the 1618 at 113,326, and I can't remember what Matt said, like 118,000 maybe. That'd be the 200% from these fibs. Anyway, Bitcoin, it looks like it just wants to keep testing up higher and higher. All right, that all said, where should we go next, Matt?
Well, I wanted to do
Yep.
Nphase because people are freaking out about it, and but
Yes,
before
do
that, I
Nphase,
just
man.
wanted to do a couple. I'll do a couple of crypto first because I see XRP and XMR, so I'll do that first before, since we were just talking about Bitcoin. So XRP, yeah, I mean the market symmetry here is beautiful, but is it ready to break out just yet? I think we got to focus on the 20-week average right here, and that is the main focus for the week, right? We did close last week above it, and we are still above it now after a nice little wick down below. So, you know what? If it starts to close week after week above this 20-week average, it might be ready to go. So I think let's just watch the 20-week moving average, and you guys can just do that easily with the Bollinger Band. Follow that along. Right now it's 2.42302, and stay above that. XRP gets more and more bullish. So this is becoming the pattern of more and more cryptos too. Like Ethereum is doing it, right? It's flipping it to a support. Doge is doing it. It's flipping it to a support, right? And I don't know what's going on with my chart here, but yeah, see, this is a pattern. And whenever you see this kind of a reversal, this is good things to come, guys. So crypto market altcoins, they are looking more and more beautiful. Let's look at that XMR. We can see here. We'll go to the Monero. Yeah, XMR is just really expanding on. It's getting kind of extended from the weekly Bollinger Band. If we go to the monthly Bollinger Band, what do we see with that? Yeah, it's really getting extended. So I would be a little bit cautious here, mainly because it's also becoming a big resistance zone right here. This was a big bearish candle after a big wick up top. So this is proof we're at a resistance zone and we're getting extended from the monthly Bollinger Band, but it is expanding. So we could see some continuation, but right now the upper Bollinger Band is 309 right here. You can see that number right here. So it is basically almost $100 higher than the upper Bollinger Band. So you know what happened last time it was really expanded from the upper Bollinger Band? It kind of consolidated for a while. So just be a little bit cautious at this resistance zone for XMR. I think this is what you got to just pay attention to. Nothing else really matters right now except for if it can't break above this 430 zone, 420 zone, then I might need to retest some levels before going higher. And yeah, let's jump into Nphase. And I did talk to my Patreon people about it on tier 4. And I said basically one thing that it might be doing is going back down to this negative fib. So you can use negative fibs just like you do use the fib extensions, right? They just go down negatively. And you can see the bottom of the Bollinger Band is right there at 36.2. So that's could be the temporary destination. But the main focus for me is it lost this zone, this $44 to $48 zone. It lost it just now pre-market with that news, and so now we have to focus on the next level, right? This has never been a bullish chart, by the way, right? And we talked about it, I think, last year when it kind of broke below that $100 level. We were live on the show, and we're like, once it broke that level, it's not going to be bullish anymore, right? There's no chance. And sure enough, it just went lower and lower and lower after that live stream, and it's never been a bullish looking chart for the fact that it has never, you can just use the Ichimoku, it has never really reclaimed the conversion line as a support all the way down, right? You can use that as your guide, guys. If it's below the weekly conversion line, it still could be in a downtrend, and this is proof that it's still in a downtrend. So it's like trying to catch a falling knife. I think it does have potential eventually, but we don't know where this falling knife is going to stop. But a good clue could be this 618. 2852 is going to be my next level now for Nphase, simply for the fact it's also a zone where it got rejected first before it kind of broke out and back tested the broke back right here, right? So there we are. There we are. You know, it's these bearish looking charts. I try to have very few in my portfolio, and this is one of them. But it's up to you guys if you want to cut and run or just wait till it gets a little bit lower. But eventually it'll have its day. It just, if you look at the chart, it had a massive explosion from pennies, right? From the pennies down here all the way to the 300s. So a multi-year correction does make sense sometimes. So 2852, that's my next target for Nphase.
Man, I swear, I feels like when, quantum is really hot, then it runs, and then as soon as it, like, peaks, they, like, run to energy. It's like, "Well, we need energy to run all those quantum AI machines." And then when, energy gets too hot, that cools off, and they pile back into AI and quantum and stuff like that. So here's Tempest AI, TEM, and I have this chart drawn, from let's put on the 8-hour time scale. So from the all-time low 2289 to the all-time high of 9145, and then this is where it got its higher low, its highest low, 3616. So that's my one. And now we're in wave three sub one, wave three sub two. I was targeting the 618 because of this sell order block that's still up there, and it didn't quite get there. It got a little bit over the 50% level and then fell back over again. So either it's just oscillating on its way to the 618 still, just I could pull this through the argument that's going on. Or it's going to come back all the way back and test back to 23.6 again, which and that kind of makes sense too, looking at this. You're getting kind of close. And you can see here, it broke through the 23.6, tested back to it, broke through it, got over it, broke through it really far to the MA75 again. Then it broke out. And so now it's like it wants to back test the MA75 and also get one perfect touch, perhaps, of the 23.6. So my target for Tempest AI would be try to buy it right here at 52.34, or just, a few pennies ahead, front run the market so that you get your order filled before they do. And then the 618 would be next. I think it's 78.53. So perhaps it's just sort of stuck in the middle right now. It could go down about 9.5%. Then you grab it, and then it's going to go up like 50% from there. So there you go, TEM. And what's next? I could do SMR. I think that one comes up a lot, but I'm actually in SMR, so I watch really closely. New Scale Power Corporation Energy. I don't think it's going to come back. See, I think here it's gotten over its 382 fib and tested it, and this looks like a perfect touch. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. So that's this morning right here. That's 8 a.m. This is 4 a.m. It had just a near perfect touch of that 382 fib. So I think it's support now, and it's ready to rock and roll up to 30.27, which from our prices right now is 30.5% higher. And this one could even go, once it gets to 30.27, I have to watch. If it stays over, it turns it to support, then it's going to go to the 34.82 next, which would mean almost 50% higher. And then the 764 is where it usually stops it. And then it's got to come back and retest the 382. But one crime at a time. Let's see if it goes to 618 at 30.27, then it's back to the 236 after that at 18.36. And what if it went to 764 and then back to 382? All right, Matt, you got one that you want to do next? Or otherwise I'll keep going.
Yeah, let's there was a you yesterday and we didn't get around to it, so we can get that you today. I just pulled up a fib from basically the all-time high back in 2007 to here, just to see how price is behaving overall, and it has been respecting these fibs. So one thing I want to point out is it never actually touched this 236 down below at 302, which makes me kind of believe that it might need to. So I think a back test of that could be inevitable, mainly because it went above it quite a bit back in 2019, and then it went down to the zero level. But I think getting back there could be the possibility. But right now, it is holding the conversion line as a support on the weekly chart. So we'll watch that 416. But if it ever starts to close weekly candles back below it, then I would expect it to go to the 302. But if not, it'll have a chance to go higher, back to the 530s and such. So not a very good looking chart, really, but it does have potential eventually, I think, to stabilize on top of that $3 range, which could be good after that.
Yeah, I want to share my four U's. Yeah, thank you. It looks like the all-time low it hit here was 78 cents, and then in 2022 it rocketed up to $11.39, and then the April 7th. No, actually, on this one for energy, it was March 31st. It dropped to $3.20, and So when I set up these fib extensions on the right, and now it's in wave 3, sub 1, sub 2, I'm gonna give it the minimum, at least the 3.6, and you can see what it's been doing all these last few weeks is, arguing with the, 11.4 extension. It did its 382. It never wait, what is this from? Oh, that's from the all-time low? Right, so actually it kind of retraced to, I guess this would be the 886 in the opposite direction. It's It looks like it's won or just about won its battle with the 11.4% mini boss, and to the 382 next would be where price is now. Would take it 62% higher, which is really nice. And after that, the 23.6 should be support, and from there, from 570, come here, there we go. That would be, let's see, from where price is now. Well, let's see. From the 236, it's 183% higher. Wow, I might have to get into this. From where it is now, it's 258% higher. So there you go. I like the chart. I don't think I like saying the ticker though. I'll have to learn what the energy fuels. There you go.
Okay, very good.
And I've got LEU ready here as well. It looks like we did this one after April 7th. Where are you? Right. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I guess I had energy fuels ready. I don't have this ready. Never mind. You do your thing. I'll look back
Yeah,
at
I got
this
a
one.
CCJ.
Yeah.
CCJ. So here's my CCJ QMCO. We can see the 45-degree angle is this green little
Chameleon.
chameleon. Okay. But yeah, this 45-degree angle, it got flipped back to a support, and it looks like, so we're gonna look at that, and we're gonna look at the cloud, and it's trying to break above the cloud as well, but it might not be able to succeed above that. So we're going to watch the angle as a support right now, and that's at $50, maybe 50.25. So that is the zone to hold as a support for the week. And if it just keeps on riding this angle as support, it's going to break this previous one level right here, and that one level is set from way back here in 2007. So this could be a big resistance, since it wasn't really able to break above last time. For almost a year, it hasn't been able to really break above it, right? The first attempt was May of 2024, and right now it is still struggling. So I would say it's range bound, right between the $50 and the $56 zone. And if it can just stay in this little wedge here, then possibly in the near future it can break out and then go to the fib extensions above, right up here in the hundreds. So that could be the possibility in the future, but right now it's stuck. It's just stuck under a big, long time, over a decade, actually 2 decades almost, resistance for that $56 level. So
Ooh.
let's watch it.
All right, I do have centrist energy now, LEU, and when we last looked at the start together, I was just looking for an ABC retrace, so like 382, 236, 618, but I kind of looked back at this candle. I said, well, maybe it'll go to the 786. So yeah, I set the 100% level at this wick right up here at 317. And now we've got enough data since it did the AB. The AB becomes the 1, 2 from my extension chart, and this is a great 1, 2. When, like I've told you in the past, when you see a sharp move up and then a sharp move down, that is a great 1, 2 for extension chart. So you can see now it finished 11.4 mini boss right here. It's gotten over the 236, and it wicked over the 382, but now it's not sure about it. So maybe it comes back to the 236 at 78.78, and then it can go on to the 1236 after that at 200. But keep in mind, this is a kind of a slower moving chart compared to other types of stuff. So I don't know how long it'll take it to get there and back. Let's see, if it goes down, it's 19% down to the 23.6. It keeps on going up to the 618. That's 30% higher. And then eventually, if you bought it now and then held your nose for whatever it did next, To the 1236, be 108%, 109% from where price is that 109? No, it's more like 113% from where price is right now. Yeah, there you go. And that could take a year and a half. I don't know. Timing's hard with these charts, but my Elliott wave theory does not predict timing. I just try to get a sense of it from looking at Ichimoku clouds usually. All right, there you go. LEU. Rumors of a Trump executive officer for uranium, EO. What does that mean? Rumors of a Trump EO for uranium this Friday. Maybe don't abbreviate it. Oh, you want me to find a trade on Nphase? Just wait for Matt's bottom, I'd say, and then we'll take a look when it gets up. Yep.
Yeah, it might be headed to 28, guys. So be patient with these falling knives. Don't have to jump in too early.
I can do
Do you have
QBTS because let me just do this one real quick, and then whatever you want me to do after that. QBTS,
okay?
I'm watching it like a hawk. All the whole quantum space, because I did that special show on quantum the other day, right? Um, CBTS, when it hit my 123.6 fib, and then it just kept going past the 138.2, and it kept going to the 1618. That's a really high melt up. It doesn't stocks don't often go to the 16618 on linear scale, but this one did. So I'm still looking for a retrace to the 100% fib level, but it's possible, even though it's gone under the 123.6 fib here at 1570, it could get back over it. Like it'll go from Ichimoku baseline to conversion line, back to baseline, and then turn this into support and then go up. So either 1570 will be your new support, or it's going to come down here to 1334 next. And this is where I'd ideally like to. So many quantum plays going on right now. I'm willing to wait for QBTS to drop to 100% to buy it then, or I'll just move on to the next one that's next to it. What do you want? What do you want to see?
Oh no, I was just gonna do QMCO, really
Oh,
quickly.
go right ahead.
So QMCO, this is the Quantum Corporation, and the one I see this as getting rejected continuously right now with the 382, 1208, and even the conversion line here. It's not back above that 1402, so it's stuck on a resistance. And if that trend continues, it could be a risk of going back down to the 632. So this one, we need to start to get some weekly candle closes above this 1208, and we haven't had any. Right, we haven't had any at all closing above since it broke down back in March right here. So getting back above that is kind of crucial. It tried to this week, but so far it's still below. So 1208, close the week above it. It's got a chance to go higher, but if not, it might go lower. So that's what I see for QMCO.
Very cool. Okay, so EO stands for executive order. Rumble says so. Yeah, an executive order for uranium from President Trump sounds very bullish for SMR and NU and UEC. There's another big one. Let me see if I have the UEC chart here. I feel like it's been kind of going a little sideways for a while here, but look, the UEC, my fib extension. It's just leapt off of the 114, and it looks like it rejected the 236 the first time, but I still think it'll go to next at 711. So from where price is right now, that would be a 35% improvement on UEC to the next waypoint. If I have the weekly chart, does it have different? Oh yeah, look here. This says it could even go to the 618 and then test back to the 236. So at 711, just kind of hang out, sell half. This is what I do. I sell half my position and I wait and see if it keeps going and makes it into support, or if it drops back below. And then usually if it drops below some critical Ichimoku baseline, then I just sell out and say, okay, it's done. And I just wait for the 236 test back. I get a lot of questions lately about how I do these fib extensions, and I just want to show you again. It's a very simple tool. It's this tool right here, the trend-based fib extension tool in TradingView. So you just grab it. It needs 3 points. You pick a bottom, you pick a higher low, and that's all there is to it. That's how you do these. And what I've done with this chart is I've decided into the highest high, and this the higher low, and that's how I got the chart you see now. All right, and there you go. It's a very simple tool, and then what it does is it's measuring from the bottom to the top. That's a 100% move, and then you're simply drawing it down to some support level, and then now the fibs are all ratios of this 100% move. So from here to here is 100%, and then so from here to right here, 100%. That's all it's done. And so if it's in 382, that means it's going 38.2% higher than the original 100% move. There you go. So get TradingView is a valuable, fantastic investment to learn how to do this stuff. And they have a sale every year on Black Friday. I think they're going to have a memorial deal. I think they got a memorial deal going right now, but the best deal every year is on Black Friday. There you go. TradingView.
Yes. I see a question from Mike about the TLT. Is it going to be cooked? Well, it was always bearish, right? We'll go to my chart here. TLT, yeah, even these are weekly candles. So ever since it went back up to backtest the 100 to flip it to a resistance, it was bearish, right? It was never on top of anything, really. It was always just a downtrend ever since a long, long time ago. Once upon a time, uh, since I would say back above in 2020, right? It's just been in a lower highs, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. So this has always been a downtrend. So I would say I would argue it's always been cooked since COVID, basically. And now we're
Mm.
approaching a double bottom, possibly, and that is maybe right around $82, 82.60, 82.50. So we could see that. If it does hold, great. If it does, because it could revert back to the mean up here in the 89 or 90s, right? But if it doesn't hold, then yeah, it's just going to keep being a falling knife and just go lower and lower. But this is just a multi-year downtrend. Never had a bullish possibility except for right here back in September and August of 2024 during that whole scary trade stuff, right? But this has always been a bearish chart for many years.
Thanks, Matt. Yep, cooked like a turkey. I've got, I'll do 3 real quick, and then that'll probably be all the time that I've got for, I'm doing Gorilla Technology, GRRR, and, this one had a long, support bottom formed, and then you had this nice run back up to its 61.8%, fib retracement, and so this one too, it's still been fighting with the 11.4% mini boss. So look for it to test the 2209, reject it the first time right here where that Ichimoku base, conversion line is in blue actually. But then eventually it should turn at least the 382 into support. Sorry, it should turn to support at least the 382, which would be 78% higher. From the sell order block, if it did get really bullish and retest and do a 764 extension, that would be 184% higher. But one crime at a time. Let's see if it can do 80% to 382 first. You should put a stop below the previous low of 1215. If it drops below 1215, you just want to like get out and then wait and see what happens. Don't hang on to that one. EOSE is what I'm doing next. And another energy stock. It's a battery storage. You guys know it. You love it. I know I do. I've been waiting for a while for this to test back to the 382. So here's my 1, 2, and in wave 3, sub 1, sub 2. It went to the 764 almost. Didn't really quite get there. It got kind of front run. So I'm looking for a test back to the 3.2, 537. Because it didn't go quite to the 764, I don't know if that means it won't quite get to the 382 and it'll actually end high sooner, or if it'll push the whole thing. If the whole thing is kind of a little bit lower, it might go lower. Anyway, 537 is the ideal target for this. Somewhere in this range, above or below, is a good place to start adding back to it, because the next move, well, let's say take it from where right now, 91% higher from where price is right now to my wave 3 top at $11.40. All right, and then the other one was, oh, HIMS, right? HIMS was one of the first stocks to get, like, really hot and run out of the gate here, here recently. And I think it peaked sooner than other stocks. But people were ready with their money, they piled into it, and it ran up to my 764 extension. And so I'm looking for the ideal test back is the 382 here at 45.27. So, um, but if it just did a retrace from this 100% to the 61.8, uh, let's see, yeah, going this way, 6.18, 5082 is where I made the top of this box. So somewhere between 5082, I'm sorry, 5032 and 45.27. This is where I'd start looking at, uh, you know, buying in. And then after that, the wave three target, all of wave three, takes it to the 138.2 at $104.78, which is, well, from our prices right now, 96% higher. If you were to get ideally at the 382 at 45.27, 131% higher. So that HIMZ you can do, um, but for a 2x ETF. All right, Matt, back to you. It's your
Yeah,
show to finish off.
yeah, I'll finish off with one we haven't really done. It's like, since it's up 40% pre-market. Oh my God, FNMA, some Fannie Mae here. Here we are. Yeah, this is my fib chart from the highs back in 2000 and the lows back in 2010. And these fibs actually have been playing out pretty well. And it was set up to go higher, really, because these are monthly candles. And you can go back in time and look at this 50% fib. It was rejection, 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 just multi year rejection since 2014, then 2016, then 2019, and guess what? Bullish engulfing candle above it, and it never really got a back test, but that's fine. But this breakout was really set up for this move, right? The breakout above that 407 was set up, and now it's breaking above the 843, and we can see that the price might even gravitate to 1417 because if you go on the chart, there's really no resistance on this downtrend until you get back to the 786, really right up here. So we could just see it continue melting up to the 2382, really. So we'll see. But you know me, I don't like to chase. It's really the broke backs, right? The breakout back test that I love.
Yeah.
So if that happened, if there was a back test, that would have been the greatest opportunity ever. But it never got back down to $4. But now this is just probably has more room to go higher and higher and higher. But I do not chase this kind of stuff. So with that, guys, I think we're set up for some more consolidation, I would call it, for the rest of the markets. I think we're going to see things just be in a range for a little bit before we can try to break out to highs. But I think the main focus now is going to be Bitcoin miners. It's going to be crypto stuff. I've been talking about that for a while too, that if you want excitement, it's going to be crypto related stuff. And that is plain true so far.
Yep, and when it peaks, then you can come back to the market and buy that bottom, buy those dips. So it's opportunity. And if you haven't had enough of Matt, you can catch him live every day on his Patreon. You can sign up for it. He's got all these videos and all these charts that he posts that you can see anytime you want on your phone or computer. And if you get tired of screenshotting my charts off of the show here, you can get access to all of them anytime you want for a mere $3 a month. I'm super cheap on X. Right, and we'll see you
Very good,
tomorrow.
guys. See you tomorrow. Have a great one.
Have a great Thursday.